Forget an intro. This is what I ordered. And this is what I got. When I first received the hair, I was so skeptical because I'm like, why does it look like this? Why are the ends so stringy? But I'm really not questioning it because, mind you, these are one of my vendors that I've been ordering from a long time now. I've been ordering my raw hair bundles for them for a minute. So I said, okay, you know what? It's curly hair. And curly hair can sometimes be tricky when you first buy it. I like to pre-wash my hair, so I figured, all right, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna wash it and stuff, and once I put the curling cream, the mousse, the curls were gonna look fabulous. That's what I thought when I was planning on pre-washing it. But even upon receiving the hair off rip, when I pulled it out the package, I'm like, why is this curl pattern so tight? It is not giving water wave. But I figured, okay, maybe I really do just need to wash it. And then I noticed that the ends were very thin and frizzy, so I gave it a chance and gave it a little pre-wash. Now when the hair is wet, of course it looks good, of course it looks silky, but once that hair dried up, those ends were right back to being frizzy, out of place, and having no curl pattern at all. I did a little research to try to figure out what was wrong with the hair, and I found out that the curl pattern was just too tight to be a water wave, and the ends of the hair were not processed. So me being the girl to always figure things out and always getting what I want, I said, I'm gonna naturally process the ends at home. Now keep in mind that the process has nothing to do with chemicals. All it is water, steam, which is some more water, some mousse, which is heavily water based, and some curling rods. That is it. Because the last thing I need is somebody being like, oh well, you messed up the hair. No, I did not. So after doing that, I literally unraveled the hair like a couple hours before my flight, and I was like, oh my gosh, it still isn't the way that I want it to look. What is this? And I had no choice but to put that wig on and take my butt to the airport. I also almost forgot to mention the matting and the shedding. The matting was horrible, and the shedding was absolutely uncontrollable. Now I am one of them girls who take their birthday very seriously.
Look what you did now.
On top of that being my first solo trip, I was like, oh my god, it was just so much on my mind. And then I had to deal with this hair. And I am a girl who has to take my pictures. I don't care if I upload them a year later. I need my good pictures. So I was like, oh my god, WTF, what am I gonna do? What is this process? So after a 16-hour flight, which still wasn't my final destination, by the way, I was sitting in the airport for a layover. I was like, you know what? I'm not going to accept this. Because I had worked with them for a long time and that we built a relationship, I was really hesitant on getting my money back or telling them like, yo, this isn't what I ordered and this is very bad quality. Yes, I know we've all had that feeling of getting your nails done and like looking at them and knowing that they're not as perfect as they should be, but for some reason you just don't speak up. I was like, no, listen, I'm another year older. I'm not going to do this anymore. I'm going to speak my mind. This is not what I wanted and this is my money that I spent. I'm getting my money back. So I end up calling the vendor because hello, what is this? Like, I have a layover in China and it's a couple hours. I'll pull up on you right now. I'm not playing. Even though I was over exaggerating because China is huge. I could literally be like 12 hours away from them, but still, that's how I was feeling. So they were acting like it was nothing that they can do for me. So okay, the form of payment that I paid them to, I opened a dispute because they weren't trying to give me any help. Can you believe they told me that, is it okay if I cut the hair? I spend thousands of dollars with you guys and you want me to cut the inches off? I literally pay for the inches. Are you crazy? So now that it's a dispute and they see that their money isn't moving, now they want to talk. So now I get a phone call from them, like I said, while I was in the airport, and now they're telling me, and this is how I know that they messed up. They're telling me, oh yeah, we're so sorry about the hair. And then he specifically used the words, yeah, we know it's like an African hair texture, right? If you're referring to type 4 hair, yes, the hair is a tight coil and it's about 4C, but I don't know why he chose those terms. But not only that, like I said, there's absolutely nothing wrong with the fact that it's a tighter curl. It's the fact that there are 2 different curl patterns on here and it's what I ordered. If I would have ordered maybe a kinky curly, then the hair probably would have been acceptable, but then probably not because the ends are super thin, crunchy, falling off. But it's the fact that that's not what I ordered. If I order water wave, then I'm expecting a 3C texture. But that's neither here nor there because whether the hair was 3C or 4C, it was not healthy and it was all over the place. I mean, breaking off, I don't know if it's overly processed. It was just not it at all. Like, okay, if this was the hair that was going out of my head, I would have had a big chop. So now he wants to try to work something out again. They were offering me like one bundle, $50 off on my next. $50? I spend thousands of dollars with you again, and you're offering me $50. They were trying to do everything but the right thing, which is refund me or send me a whole batch of new hair. So again, I'm going back and forth with them. Mind you, I'm on my birthday vacation, so I'm going back and forth with them as I reach my destination. And a couple days into it, you know, I'm putting in my evidence into the platform that I pay with, and we're going and they're putting in their so-called evidence, and it's just a hot mess. So me being who I am, of course I found a way to fix it while I'm in Bali, and thank God that I had the products that I had. And even while I was in Bali, I was like, I made it look so good, you know, maybe I should drop the dispute, maybe I should just leave it alone. But literally, y'all, the hair would look that good for like 2 hours tops. Once it dried up completely, like once I got my photos and it dried up completely, it did not look like that anymore. So I was thinking, dang, if I did keep this hair and just let it go, imagine how much product I will be spending on maintaining this hair just for it to look decent, and it's still not being the curl pattern that I ordered. I was like, nah, we're gonna keep this dispute open. Long story short, we're going back and forth, and honestly, I couldn't even settle this case until I got back home, which was like 10 days later. And I even called the platform that I pay with, and they kept siding with the vendor, and I was trying to figure out why. Like, I uploaded so much evidence, there's so much, even the conversations between me and them admitting that they messed up. What is going on? So apparently I was rejecting my refund because they put custom order in the invoice knowing that it's not a custom order, and apparently you cannot receive a refund for custom order. Some bull, okay? And I was like, oh no, I am not letting this money go. This hair is a hot mess. Even the person that I was on the phone with was like, oh my gosh, I absolutely agree with you. I see all the evidence, I see all your messages, paperwork, everything. Here's what you're gonna do. Call your bank, all right? That is the highest form of financial institution in this situation, and they're gonna help you. And that's exactly what I did. Called my bank, put in my dispute, uploaded my evidence, and my bank don't play about me, okay? I got my money right back. So, like I was saying, the wig on top, the top part of the wig, it's not bad. It's just not water wave, and it's just not what I ordered. But the bottom itself, oh my God, so dry. And then the upper part, even though it's not bad, it's still so tight, and it requires a lot of product in order to keep it very curly. It just wasn't it. But I was like, hey, it's free. Like, and I'm a skilled creative. I could try to do something with this. So I was like, the curls on this hair too tight, and the ends are not what I was looking for, and they're just frizzing all over the place. And I'm like, but this hair specifically is our hair. So I was like, what if I just relax the wig? And I honestly bought these boxes of relaxer, and I was like, I left them on the table for like 3 months, I swear to God. Because I was like, do I really want to do this? But I'm like, why not? You know, if it messes up, hello, it's a free wig anyways. I'm like, let's try to really bring this hair back to life and see what we can do with it. So in today's video, that's exactly what we're going to be doing. Let's go texturize this wig and see if we can bring it back to life. Cross fingers. So this is the hair, you guys, after I had it sitting in a corner for months. I was so disappointed in it. Do you see it? Do you see like how dry it is? Mind you, it only looks decent right here because of all of the like product I was putting in it when I was in Bali and stuff, and then I just left it like that. So that's still in the hair within itself. If this wasn't detangled and stuff, it would not be looking like this. It would be looking a whole lot worse. And here is the main ingredient, y'all. I thought about getting 4 boxes, but I was like, no, you know what, let me get 3 because I don't want the hair to be completely straight. So I don't want the hair to be like completely saturated. So I was like, all right, 3 should be fine, and I could like spread that evenly. And now here you see me, even though I said the hair was a little untangled, here you see me brushing out these ends. And yeah, I am ripping and tugging, y'all, because it's just no other way to handle this hair. Like, the ends are broken, the ends are split, the ends are not processed. Look at that. You see that? That is literally like dead ends that they gave me. Like, I can see all the way through that hair. Like, it's ridiculous. Like, the last 7 inches or so on the hair is just straight see-through dry brittle hair, and I feel like that's so disrespectful to them to send me that. But it's okay, because guess what, it is $3.99 and we gonna work with it. So I used my paddle brush and I dug all through that hair, and do you see that? And mind you, that was just one little section that I combed out. Could you imagine having that hair in Bali and how it was shedding? So as you can see, I opened the box, just showing you guys what comes in there, and I literally brushed the entire wig and then I just twisted it up so I can just put the texturizer on section by section. But see, this is how the hair looks when it's untangled and when it's brushed out. And guys, a lot of shedding, like the amount of shedding that came out of this hair is absolutely ridiculous. And since the texturizer activates very fast, it was no time for me to like separate section by section and apply the texturizer, because this is a 40-inch wig and this is 6 bundles. Okay, by the time I'm done with one section, that section is going to be flat, and then I'm on to the next section, and now I have 5 different textures on my wig. I didn't want that, so I literally just put on my gloves, scooped it up, and just spread it like I was spreading some hair lotion on my hair, because the last thing I wanted is for one part to be completely straight and then one part to be curly, because then I'll be really upset. So after that whole entire process, I let the wig just kind of air dry a little bit. And I don't know, I just noticed, like, I don't know if it's just this vendor, but when these wigs dry from them, like the frontal gets matted up. I know that can happen if you don't comb it out or brush it out, but it doesn't happen if I had a frontal from somewhere else. But it happens with this vendor, and I noticed that. And I thought that was normal for so long, because I was using them for so long that I forgot that that's not normal. Like, that doesn't happen with everybody. But anyway, free wig, whatever. So I just combed it out. And as you can see, this is how the hair came out. Now, the ends did come out a little bit straighter, but remember, the ends were not properly processed with the water wave pattern anyway. So it was never going to give water wave, even if I put the texturizer on there just for a quick second. It was going to give, I don't know, it was going to give that, I guess. But that's fine, because I was like, you know what, as long as it's not frizzy and all over the place, I can work with it. I can do something with it. Now, one thing about having a 40-inch wig with 6 bundles is that the roots, like, you know, by your head is always wet. So you got to like double blow dry that to make sure it's dry. Oh my God, you guys are seeing me in my rawest form. Okay, it's usually a wig, no makeup, or a makeup, no wig. It's never really both, but here I am. Yeah, this is me. Still tea. Anyways, I usually don't clean my forehead with alcohol, but today I did, because I could not find my boho skin protectant. And this is my 2 wig cap method, so that my edges aren't pulled by the glue or by the wig cap that I put on. So I just use a wig cap underneath, right, so that it can hold my edges back. And then once I cut this wig cap and get it glued down and everything, then I go ahead and I slip off the wig cap underneath. But back to this wig cap, I don't use glue to glue to my wig cap. I like to use a spray. I'm gonna invest in some boho lace jelly, because I hear that these sprays also have alcohol in it, and I want the least amount of alcohol in my hair care products. So this probably won't be for long that I'll be using this, but this is what I use for now, and it works. It keeps my wig cap in place, and I like to cut it as close as possible. Like, any extra wig cap, I don't like it. Like, I cut it as close as possible to my hairline, because I feel like my forehead is already kind of small. So I don't want to make that even smaller, and then it looks like my wig is on my eyebrows. Now it's time for me to get that wig cap underneath. So what I do is I slowly pull that wig cap from underneath so that it doesn't pull the wig cap on top. And boom, you see how all my edges are slicked back? Like, you cannot see none of them trapped under the glue. And then by the time you rip off your wig cap, they ripping off your edges with it. It's just a hot mess. I like to do this to make sure my edges are safe. Put a little makeup powder on there, and I mean just a little bit. Try to find a wig cap that's closest to your skin complexion so that you don't have to use a lot of makeup. And now we're in the process of using my glue, and of course I go in with boho. I use all boho products. Now for the finale, here is the wig, you guys. So when a wig is already cut, the lace is cut, my nails are my biggest helpers, y'all. Like, honestly, if it wasn't for my nails, I wouldn't be able to do a lot of things. Like, they're really my tools. So I literally just pinch the lace with my nails, and that's helping me put the lace in place. Like, my hands and my fingers are best when it comes to putting on a wig. Like, all the other tools and stuff, I'm like, no. Like, I like pressing it down with my hand. I use a band too, but pressing it down makes it a whole lot easier. What I will say about this wig, and you know what, I can't even say nothing about the wig because I made it. I was about to give the wig somewhat its props, but it's like, hello, I made the wig. I made this to fit my head so perfectly. I think out of all the wigs I ever made, this one fits my head to the T. So, and when it comes to my glue layers, y'all, I'm learning that less is more. So I usually used to use like thick layers, thinking that that's making the wig stay on more, and I really think that that's making the wig lift quicker. So I do use about 2 to 3 layers. However, now I'm making them more thin, and now they dry clear evenly. I see that, and I'm like, okay, cool, because usually when it's like, oh, you know, people say like let the glue dry clear, I usually have these white patches and I glue the wig down anyway. But really, less is more. It looks a whole lot better like this. Alright, so now that my ears are hurting because I left my band on for a good amount of time, I removed my band, and as you can see, the wig is flat. Okay, it is in place. So now it's time to just, you know, make sure that hairline looks good, customize it. And I'm not really a baby hair girl, but when it comes to curly hair, guys, I love me some baby hair on curly hair. Like I really do. When it comes to my bust down, I want my bust down to be plain, no baby hairs on none of that. Curly hair though, gotta add the baby hair. So I went with my curl scope, the same gel that I used inside of the hair, and I just started molding my baby hairs in place with you know, not the brush side but the comb side. I find like the comb side works a whole lot better. And one thing about it, I don't know if it's just me, I always have to find new baby hairs. I can never get the same ones that I created from before. Every time I install a wig over and over, it's like I gotta create new ones. So that's why I also don't pluck my wigs a lot, because I feel like I'm already, you know, kind of like making the hairline smaller every time I install the wig. So I don't do a lot of plucking, especially on curly hair. I feel like when you pluck a lot on curly hair, it makes it look bald very fast. And boom, y'all, this is not even right after the video, y'all. This is after a whole weekend with this wig. Okay, what do you think? Did I fix it? Did I do a good job? I figured out how to curl the hair. Look at the ends. I figured out how to give it that nice creme. Nothing but a little gel, water, mousse, and braiding. You know, not exactly a water wave, but I think for a free wig and fixing it, I think that looks good. Okay, so that is it for this video, you guys. Like I always say, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and also hit the notification bell so you can get notified every single time that I upload. Also, make sure you guys go ahead and follow me on Instagram at Jaiye.Pierre and on TikTok at Jaiye_. If for some reason you don't have TikTok or Instagram, I'm going to leave a list right here on the screen of every single social media platform that I have. Make sure you guys go ahead and follow me each one that you have, and I will check you guys in my next video. Okay, love you, babes. Bye.